Hello everyone, and welcome to 4 Kilobyte Shorts, Let's Play of Cryostasis. Now, Cryostasis is a very fun game where you are a person from a North Pole outpost who is sent to the upper Arctic to check out an icebreaker called the North Wind. Now, this is the North Wind here. And the reason why you're sent to check it out is because the icebreaker got stuck and they haven't heard any information from it. There's no radio signals, there's nothing. So you're sent up to figure out what is going on and to fix the problem. And once you get inside the ship, things start going a little bit weird. Now, some interesting things about Cryostasis. I had the original Russian release when it came out. My system could barely run it, and I ended up running it at the lowest settings, and I still had a lot of fun with it. It's still a very fun and interesting game to play, even at the lowest settings. But luckily, with a new system and with the American release, I was doing a lot of tweaking. I was able to get the game to run and look really, really well at a pretty high frame rate. But I will tell you that from time to time, because of the amount of processing power and things that this game does take regularly, there might be a time here and there where the game blips a little bit, where something's jitter just because of a loading or a physics issue. I just want to give you guys a heads up about that. On top of that, this is the Steam version of the game, which, when I had the original Russian version, I was able to play it with the Russian vocals and English subtitles, because for the original English tech demo that they sent over for benchmarking, they had sent over English subtitles, and instead of just sending them over for the benchmarking level, they had translated the entire game and sent that over in a file as well, and somebody created a patch which allowed the Russian version to be played with the English subtitles, so I was able to play it with the English subtitles. Now, in the American version, they added a few extra lines of text and a few extra vocal lines to the dialogue for some reason, and I didn't feel like they were in good placement. They were out of place, they didn't fit, the models weren't meant to voice act those sections of the game, so you have characters standing there without moving their lips, saying lines that weren't originally in the game. Well, being the Steam version, everybody knows that Steam only allows you to have Russian or English. You can't have a mix of the two. But with a little bit of editing, I was able to get the Russian vocals with the English subtitles, and strangely enough, the Russian vocals are what determine the subtitles, so we won't have those extra lines. So we will have the original Russian vocals and the original Russian text without all the extra lines that they put in the English version, which is wonderful. Now, with that out of the way, there's not much else to tell. We're going to go ahead and start a new game. We're going to get in there, and we're going to find out exactly what's going on board the Northwind. If you will start a new game, the current game will be lost. Start a new game? Absolutely, let's start a new game. Now, we do have this loading screen here, which it can be long depending on the level. I may leave it in, I may cut it out depending, and if I want to put in the extra effort or if I have nothing to talk about during the loading screen. If I don't cut them out, then we'll just deal with them. They're not very long, usually, and they are kind of pretty, so it really depends. I want to go ahead and give you guys a heads up that every once in a while there will be a loading screen that we'll have to cope with. My story is comfortless. It isn't sweet or happy as fictional stories are. It has shades of senselessness and confusion, of madness and dreams, like the lives of those people who no longer delude themselves. Hermann Hesse.
Жили на земле в старину одни люди. Непроходимые леса окружали с 3 сторон таборы этих людей. С 4-й была степь. Были это веселые, сильные и смелые люди. И вот пришла однажды тяжелая пора. Явились откуда-то иные племена и прогнали прежних вглубь леса. Там были болота и тьма, потому что лес был старый, и так густо переплелись его ветви, что сквозь них не видать было неба, и лучи солнца едва могли пробить себе дорогу до болот сквозь густую листву. Но когда его лучи падали на воду болот, болота подымался смрад, и от него люди гибли один за другим. Нужно было уйти из этого леса, и для того были две дороги. Одна назад, там были сильные и злые враги, другая вперед, там стояли великаны деревья, плотно обняв друг друга могучими ветвями, опустив узловатые корни глубоко в цепкий ил болота. Это были все-таки сильные люди, и могли бы они пойти биться насмерть с теми, что однажды победили их. Но они не могли умереть в боях, потому что у них были заветы, и коли бы умерли они, то пропали б с ними из жизни и заветы. И потому они сидели и думали в длинные ночи под глухой шум леса в ядовитом смраде болота. Они сидели, а тени от костров прыгали вокруг них в безмолвной пляске, и всем казалось, что это не тени пляшут, а торжествуют злые духи леса и болота.
And here we are. Now that story may not have made any sense in comparison to the actual story of why we're on the ship and everything, but it's a parable. It's a story that kind of coincides or matches, it goes in parallel with what we're experiencing on the ship, and we'll get dialogues and updates on that as we progress through the game. Now if you look in our lower left hand corner, that is our heads up display. Now the outer ring is the ambient air temperature around us, which at this point is very, very low, but not low enough to kill us. The inner ring is our personal health, which will lower itself to match the outer ring. So basically we're constantly losing health in a cold room. And then the ring between those two is a yellow dotted ring, and that is our stamina bar. So that is the whole of our heads up display. The outer ring, the inner ring, and our stamina bar. Press right mouse key to open the hatch. Alright. Nice little icicles. Very cold in here. Press left control to sit down, or crouch in this case. Oh, yeah, now that happens from time to time. We will get thrown forward. Press right mouse key to open the hatch. We will get thrown forward or thrown around by physics objects. It's just the way the physics objects work. We just kind of have to be careful of it. Flashlight! Come here, little buddy. I love this little flashlight. It is so cute. Although, it does need some love because the batteries are very cold. There you go. Now, press the F key to toggle your flashlight. Indeed. Now the flashlight is very interesting because much like us and a lot of other portions of the game, as our body temperature increases, our flashlight will go from a dull yellow color, as you see it here, to a nice bright white color, which is really, really interesting. It's a really interesting mechanic that everything is affected by heat. Your flashlight, some other things which I will not enumerate at this time, all sorts of stuff are just affected by the heat. Now our flashlight is also finicky and from time to time will turn itself off randomly. Which happens, we'll cope with it, but yeah, it will turn itself off after cutscenes or when we do certain things in the game. But we'll cope with it. This is very pretty. The light through the snow. Now as you can see, this ice has been pushing its way through the side of the ship. And ice will do that, it will crush everything in its way over time. The amount of ice here and the amount of damage that it has sustained, the ship has sustained, suggests that this has been here for quite some time if there's like an ice spear jetting through the side of the ship. So this ship has not been here for a short period. Now we get to demonstrate our character's special ability. Now this is us, because this is a tutorial, this is us, I can tell you that already. So we're gonna go creep forward and... Oh. So basically, we had ourselves on the ground here. We came up to us, and then we relived our past. And as you can see in our past, we fell. So our character was on the ground. So as we progress through the tutorial, you can run by holding the left shift button, but watch your yellow indicator carefully This shows your stamina. Yeah, we won't be running very much, although we have that as an option. So yeah, as we progress through the tutorial, we will be saying this. So here's our character again. So this is basically showing us how we got here through our character's special ability. That can't be good. And now we're on the other side of the walkway, because we passed through the mental echo, what they're called. They're called mental echoes. You are still too weak for anything but a short sprint. With time, you'll gain more stamina, and you'll get tired less and recover faster, which is good because our stamina goes for many, many things, including passing through those little visions, as well as combat and running. So pretty. Broken, but pretty nonetheless. Very loud, stepping over all this stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and crack this open. So lots of objects to interact with. So much ice just pushing through the side of the ship. Excuse me, sir. Tripping over everything here. So here's us standing, most likely on our sled. Oh, there it is. So now we're approaching the ship through this wind tunnel. This is so awesome. The wind tunnel of ice and snow. So there's a ship looming in the distance. And there's the sun, all bright and happy. And our happy little sled dogs, of course, doing their business. So now we know how the ice got tracked. Someone set off the ship's horn, which means the ship has people on board. Well, we know it's coming now. Here it comes. Whoa, 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 back it up, back it up. And it looks like there's a body down there. Kick that down the stairs. Why not? Let's kick it down the stairs, no one cares. So many objects just lying around, bumping into them. So much noise going on. Alright, so here's us, most likely dead. Now this is how the mental ecosystem actually works. You walk up to a body that's doing this, and then you just activate it, and you jump into its head, and relive its life. Hey, buddy, nice to see you up there. Yeah, I'm awake. Well, looks like my legs still work. But with this much padding, how could you break anything? Like the Michelin Man. Alright, up should be... here it is.
Младшему научному сотруднику Северной полярной станции Полюс-21 Александру Нестерову прибыть 27 марта 1981 года в точку с координатами 86 градусов 21 минута северной широты, 74 градуса 57 минут восточной долготы для поднятия на борт атомного ледокола «Северный ветер».
So his name is Alexander Nestorov. It is the 27th of March 1981, and we are sent to investigate the North Wind. And as we can tell, it's the investigation is going very well so far. We've already crashed our sled and nearly broken our skull, falling into a hole. Now we're going to follow our sled dog, who's being extremely helpful. We do have to be careful that we don't fall through the ice, or at least fall into the cracks. We also have to be careful that the wind doesn't push us sideways, because it will. The wind will push us sideways into things. Big ship with big anchor chains. Very big anchors, and as you can see, even the anchors are covered with huge amounts of ice and snow. So this ship has not been here for a short while. There's an entranceway up there we need to get to. So it has been here quite some time. Or at least long enough for this amount of ice to form. I'm not sure how long that actually takes in the Arctic. It might be a lot less time than you would think. I'm coming, little friend. Okay, looks like we're going up this ridge here. Gotta be careful. So there's a nuclear symbol on the side of the ship. It means that this is a ship powered by a nuclear reactor. So there should be power and heat inside, which is great. And if nothing else, we can at least get away from the wind chill factor that's freezing us to death. I'm sure if we had to worry about our body temperature out here, we'd be dead by now. Okay, I can't go that way. Oh, but we can go this way. Alright, what do you got? Severnier Vetier? I believe that's what that is. V-E-T-E-R? Yeah. So that's the North Wind, I guess, the name of the ship. And inside, we'll slide down this, and it looks like we have the captain's log down here. That's what this is, the captain's log. I'm gonna grab this. And boom! We have completed a mental echo. Very nice. Okay, now we're gonna drop down. So yeah, they don't explain that until later on, but that is a mental echo, the ability to go into someone's past and experience what they experience. Bumping into something there. Tin cans everywhere. Makes some noise going through. Now, there are no collectibles in this game. There's no side quests or anything to grab. There are interesting sights to see, and a lot of design really went into the interior of the ship, so there are fun and interesting things to see, which we will be checking out, like a dead crewman emanating vast amounts of cold to the point where he's instantly chilling the air around his body. Now, here is one of the coolest things I have ever seen in a video game. This entire room is frozen, and there's like frost on the walls. But we go ahead and turn this on. This generator here. And we get the lights on, get the generator running, and you can see there's steam building up and so on. If we take a look at the walls, the frost starts to give way to color. And after a few seconds, the frost will begin to slide down the wall. There it goes. Very slowly at first. And it just melts away. So not only does heat affect us, but heat affects the ship itself. And we're going to go ahead and get some heat off of this, hopefully without tearing the ends of our fingers off. So as you can see now, the ambient room and the temperature is, ambient temperature in the room is much higher now than it was before. And we have increased our body temperature. Now our light is brighter, the room is warmer, happier, except for this guy who is, even though he's steaming, he's still releasing vast amounts of cold. So there's no way past him, so we're going to go back the way we came. Through the creepy opening door with a fire pit that wasn't there.
Ну, что там?
Банки расставил. Пока все тихо.
Садись, грейся, пока догорает. Я еще пару ящиков притащил. Пусть сохнут. Садись, грейся, пока догорает.
So he wants us to warm ourselves by the fire, which we will oblige. To get warm, press and hold the right mouse key. Yes, we will absolutely do that. So as you can see, our stamina increases along with our body temperature. And then, of course, we have an enemy. Very angry-looking sailor, it looks like. Alright. So as you can see, the past and present here don't exactly... well, now that guy's missing. They don't exactly coincide. Hello, friend with axe. How's it going? Let's go ahead and back away from him. We don't want to be his friend today. Oh yeah, he's very angry. And we're gonna move out of his way. So now we're back in the very cold room. And things are heating up. So yeah, the past and present here are very odd. They don't exactly flow in linear time. But along with enemies comes with new toys. To get the lock and chain, press the right mouse key. So we're going to grab this. This is our first weapon. It's basically a chunk of wood with a chain wrapped around it. You can punch people with that. Painful and effective. Better than our fists, anyway. To break the boards with your fist, press the left mouse key. You got it, friend. Alright, so we'll give this a couple of taps. Which uses up a little bit of stamina every time we do that. I think I punched the door that time. There you go. We'll head on through. Cold, so cold down here in the lower decks. Okay, let's head over here. Hello, frozen friend. So it looks like this guy froze trying to hold this door closed. That is a dedicated sailor right there. You need help, buddy? I don't think I can help him. This is not a mental echo, so there's nothing we can do here except watch. Whoa! And back away when he attacks us. Excuse me, sir. Now I know a few advanced combat moves, so I'm not even going to bother not using them. And as you can see there, if you saw that little bit of red there, to select the hand to strike with and to direct strikes, hold the movement keys WSAD. Yeah, so you can right hand, left hand, uppercut, and jab. And it's very interesting you can do that. But if you take a look at this guy, if you saw the red that appeared on his body when we struck him, the way combat works in this game is like regular combat. You know, you punch things and you hit things and you shoot things and so on. But you're not just like hurting things with blood. You're hurting things with heat. When they strike you, they impart cold onto you. And thus cooling your body and making you frozen, and eventually, if they get your body temperature down too far, you die. But when you strike them, you impart heat upon their bodies. And as their body temperature increases, they die. So it's a balance of heat and cold versus blood and no blood, or monster and light, or whatever it is. It's all about the heat. Speaking of which, let's warm our hands. Watch the internal scale of the thermometer while holding the right mouse key. Done. Okay, let's get in here. So it looks like these guys were trying to keep things from flooding in here. So there was a disaster on board. This guy's big. I'm gonna be careful with him. So there was a disaster on board. Looks like they struck most likely an iceberg. They struck something. Yeah, most likely an iceberg. And that caused the ship to start. Hold the right mouse button to block. Okay. Caused the ship to start taking on water. So the crewmen were down here trying their best to keep the ship from flooding, but it doesn't look like they were super successful with that. We'll get our stamina up. There you go. Alright, we'll head this way. So yeah, it looks like they were trying to keep the ship from flooding, but they weren't exactly 100% successful on that. Big chunk eyes. Put the guy in it. Ow! Friend. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Right jab. Oh, good night, sir. To start a combo, hold 2 of the movement keys simultaneously, WSAD. So yeah, you can do that. You can do a right then left, yeah, or left and right, right then left. You can also do back it up and do a hook and then a uppercut. Same thing with the other hand, hook and then uppercut, and so on and so forth. You can't like do a forward and back, so you can't do a jab and uppercut as far as I'm aware. But it's really interesting how they have that combo system, because as long as you're ducking and dodging to hit things anyway, it kind of gives you a combo system that you can control if you can control your moves. Flooding! So yeah, this is the room the guy was trying to keep closed, where the water was coming in the other room. And it completely flooded, and now it's totally frozen over. So below this is nothing but ice, probably a huge block of ice. There might be water near the bottom, but not much. Don't forget to keep warm by using the heat sources. Warmth is the only source of your in-game health. Exactly. So we're going to go ahead and keep ourselves warm by heating up to the ambient temperature. There you go. Nice little light bulb full of heat. Now, luckily for us, the heat sources are not few and far between. There are heat sources everywhere. And they are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That there are heat sources all over the place. Now, if I don't seem surprised by these guys, it is because enemies pop up in the same places every time. And for the first little bit of the game, I remember where all the enemies are. So I will not be shocked or surprised by their arrival. As the game progresses and I forget where enemies were placed, I will probably be more likely to jump and be like, oh wow, I didn't know that guy was there. That was very creepy in here. This room, it got completely screwed up. Ah, not creepy at all. So here is our first mental echo victim. So this guy died. This guy died in a weird and oddball way. You can save this man's life. Press the right mouse key to initiate your mental echo ability. It will let you into his past where you can correct his fatal mistake. So yes, this guy made a mistake in his past, something he did or did not do. He didn't move fast enough, didn't do a thing, didn't twist a knob, didn't turn a handle, didn't open a door, something. And that mistake caused him to be stuck behind this door, frozen in a block of ice. Now what we need to do is, like we did with ourselves, we need to go back into his past. But instead of just observing what occurred, or repeating what occurred, what we need to do is we need to do something different in order to keep him alive. So we will do that.
Быстро! Двери наверх! Здесь сейчас прорвет!
Through that door and up the stairs. You got it, sir. Okay, here's this. I'm assuming this is the stairs you're talking about.
Всем покинуть первый и второй отсеки. Угроза затопления. Подняться на верхние палубы.
Oh. That's no good. Going around. So this is the room we were just in that was flooded, so we're coming up on the room that we're currently standing in when we found the mental echo. Open up.
Сюда, скорее! Я придержу дверь! Давай, беги!
Coming! Success! You saved the dead man's soul and improved yourself a little. You have a dark road ahead of you, where you will find many more opportunities to help the unfortunate. Indeed. So yeah, that's the mental echo ability. You go into their past and you change it in order to save their lives and then alter the interior of the ship. Whoa. That was really cold there for a second. Big hole in the side of the ship. And look, it's us! We're so cute!
Капитан, лоза показывает скопление льда по проложенному курсу.
Лоза – это ваш новый ясновидящий прибор?
Ясновидение оставим шаманам. А это точная научная аппаратура. Ошибки исключены.
А знаешь, почему лозой назвали?
Да, читал когда-то. Раньше с помощью лозы, кажется, воду искали. Правда, тогда и лес на корабли рубили, и вдаль под парусом ходили. В общем, времена больших открытий.
Все приходит со временем. Чтобы управлять кораблем, нужно, чтобы он уважал тебя. Слушать, понимать его, разговаривать с ним. Год за годом быть с ним наедине. Тогда становишься не просто капитаном, а частью чего-то большего.
Как-то сложно все у вас. А по-моему, достаточно покрепче взять штурвал в руки. Вот дали бы попробовать.
Быстрый ты. Ну уж, коли так не терпится, пробуй пока на этом.
Ouch. So the first mate, being young and presumptuous, basically tells the captain, all you need to do to pilot a ship is just grab the wheel and move. And the captain, of course, being older and more wiser, basically treats him like a child. You know, telling him, it's like, oh, if you want to be a ship's captain here, why don't you try piloting this little paper boat around? Such a smack in the face. I think oh, no, we got that one, okay. He's moving away from the ice signals because they're in our way. So yeah, a little bit of a history there with the captain and his first mate regarding the first mate wanting to be a captain and the captain thinking that he's too young and inexperienced and arrogant, which makes perfect sense. Alright everybody, that's our first loading screen, which seems like a really good time to pause. And I believe that's the end of the tutorial as well, so that's a perfect time to pause. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause here. I'd like to thank you all very much for joining me, 4KB Short, on this Let's Play of Cryostasis. And I will see you guys next video.